Today we're going to be getting into the shoulders and learning some actions of the shoulder joints that are going to help you have a greater experience in your yoga practice, creating more stability in the shoulder and ensuring that you can look after your shoulder for the long term. Hi, I'm Christina. I'm from Yoga-to-Transform, and I can't wait to share these shoulder principles with you. All right, let's take a seat and come down to the mat. Now, the first thing to kind of be aware of are the general movements or the general kind of directions of the shoulders. So our shoulders typically go up, right? So the official word for that is elevation. So the shoulders move up towards the ears, and quite often you'll hear teachers kind of say bring your shoulders towards your ears, or in my world it's side body long, right? So then there's the up, and then there's the rounding of the shoulders, right? So we call that the protraction. That's where the shoulders get round, and normally you kind of experience that in your cat when you're doing a cat-cow, and you need that for poses that involve arm balancing, so that protraction, and you can feel your shoulder blades moving away from the midline. And then we have the depression of the shoulders, when the shoulders come down the back, all right? So that shoulders coming down the back, you'll normally hear me instruct, soften your shoulders down the back, right? Just soften the shoulders down. And then the final one is a retraction, where the shoulders are the opposite of the protraction and they come together. So you draw those shoulder blades together on your back, nice, using those little rhomboid muscles to really pull them together. So those are kind of the key directions: up, round, down, and back. All right, up, forward, round, down, and back. Now, the thing with the shoulders is that our modern life kind of asks us to do a lot of this, right? We're texting, we're driving, we're computering, etc. And we even stand in a way that means that the head of the arm bones are brought forward, the collarbones are kind of jutted forward, and it creates, the neck comes forward, and it creates a whole lot of pain and misalignment. And if we're holding that posture when we're doing our yoga practice, it can also create injury, which is what we're trying to avoid, particularly when we're practicing the style of yoga that I teach. Now, what we want, we quite often hear me say in particular, broaden across your collarbones. So your collarbones are these bones here, and you know, skinny supermodels have made having collarbones that kind of jut out like this look really kind of the in thing, but it's not the in thing. We don't want that. What we want is to have a fullness in our upper body and a fullness in our chest, and we achieve that by creating that lengthening through the sides of the body, taking the head of the arm bones back and broadening across the collarbones, okay? So that we've got that nice, even broadness versus the shortening and the coming in, all right? So we want to hold that experience as much as possible when we move through the poses. Okie dokie, let's try that now. Just play with that movement of the shoulder blades in table. So if you come into table, make sure that your knees are underneath your hips, that your hands are underneath your wrists. Now, it's really important that the experience of your shoulders starts in your hands when you're placing your hands on the mat. So it's really important that you spread your fingers wide, okay? So this is spread fingers wide. Nice and wide, okay? Let me place the hand on the mat. There you go. And also that you have the pointer fingers pointing to the front edge of the mat. So quite often I see hands turned in slightly, I see hands turned out slightly, and if you've got wrist issues, turning them out might be helpful, or tight shoulders might be helpful, but ideally you want their pointer fingers pointing forward so that those wrist creases are parallel with the front edges of your mat, and the fingers are nice and wide. That all makes a difference when it comes to working into your shoulders. The other thing that you want is to be able to grip the mat with the pads of your fingers and particularly anchor in the pointer finger mound. And you'll notice that there's a real difference when you kind of engage that pointer finger mound, and stay mindful and connected there and keep the pointer finger mound anchored as much as possible. All right, let's just start with some cat-cow. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Inhale, take the thighs back, bring the chest and the heart through. Exhale, round the spine. Keep your awareness in your shoulders and just notice the actions of the shoulders as you come through these poses. So as you come up into cat, you'll feel that protraction, right? As you come back through into cow, you'll feel the shoulders coming down the back and also coming together in the retraction. Coming up into cat, protraction, broadening of the shoulder blades. Coming through into cow, they're moving down. Obviously there's a whole lot else, other stuff happening in this pose, but we're just really breaking down what's happening in the shoulders. Okay, nice work. Come back into table now. And keeping those fingers anchored, pointer finger mound anchored, we're going to play with making the side body long or bringing the shoulders to the ears. So you move the shoulders up towards your ears. Now let's do the protraction. So push from the shoulders down into the hands. So we round the spine. We need this when we're coming into arm balancing poses. Now can you bring the shoulder blades down the back, softening down the back. You'll notice that that action starts to bring the shoulder blades together. And then the last action is bringing the shoulder blades together on your back. You hear me in this pose call it mount the heart. Beautiful, let's do that a few more times. Inhale, take the shoulders towards your ears. Exhale, round the shoulders, creating the protraction. Nice, now take the shoulders down, depression, and then, the retraction now is when we mount the heart, bringing the shoulder blades together on the heart. Inhale, lengthen long through the sides of your body, bring the shoulders towards your ears. Exhale, round the back, protract the shoulder blades, push down from the shoulders into your hands evenly. Exhale, depress the shoulders, bring the shoulders down the back, soften the shoulder blades down the back. And then mount the heart. Bring your shoulder blades together on your back. Perfect. Now let's just come and try and do that the opposite way. So we're going to take the shoulders down the back, away from the heart. Nice work. Protract. Come up nice and round. Beautiful. Now keeping that, bring the shoulders forwards towards the ears. And now soften the shoulder blades together, mount the shoulder blades at the back. You tend to do that action when we're in downward facing dog. All right, down the back, shoulders come down the back. Retract, yeah? Round the back, nice. Now, bring the shoulder blades towards the ears and bring the shoulder blades together on the back. Beautiful. Last time, bringing the shoulder blades down the back. Now, round the shoulder blades. Perfect. Now work the shoulder blades up towards your ears and then bring your shoulder blades together on your back. Nice. So you want to be able to move out of fear, and we do that by getting that support at the back of the heart, by bringing the shoulder blades together at the back of the heart. Perfect. Come and sit on your heels, give your hands a bit of a shake. Alrighty. So one great way that when we're working the shoulder blades to come together on the back of the heart is you come into cactus hands or cactus arms. Shoulder blades come together, right? Elbows in line with the shoulders. Now, one of the ways that I teach bringing the shoulder blades together to get the shoulder blades, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together, is to push the palms back, right, which brings the elbows forward, and you'll notice the shoulder blades start to come together on the back, right? They're drawing together on the back. Perfect. So these actions are really important for when you start coming into your back bending actions, because we're using the support of the shoulders on the back, bottom tips of the shoulder blades coming together to lift the heart and create the movement from the back of the heart rather than the lower back. Beautiful. Right, release that. Now in downward facing dog, there's a couple of things that we want to be doing. So let's just bring our hands out in front of us, imagining we're in downward facing dog. So there's a couple of actions. So we want to be lifting the head of the arm bones or the shoulder blades towards the ears when we're in downward facing dog. Now we create the protraction in downward facing dog by turning the triceps in or the biceps towards the ears. And then once we have that, we bring the shoulder blades together on the back. with that melting of the heart action, so that it looks a little bit like this. Now I don't have much space. Alright, so downward facing dog, long through the shoulder blades, so the armpits move towards your ears. You turn the biceps in so that there's a broadening across your back, because you're in an arm balance kind of here, and then we bring the shoulder blades together, melting the heart. But that lengthening and that broadening stays in place. We hold that as we melt the heart in. Alright, and you may have noticed that my pointer finger was anchored into the mat. Anchoring the pointer finger will make a huge difference for your shoulders. Alrighty, let's come down onto our bellies. Now, Chaturangas is one of those poses where we tend to lose that connection and the support in our shoulders. So I would recommend that you back off from doing Chaturangas and do 8-point pose, which we'll move up to soon. First, to build the strength in your shoulders so that you don't lose it. Because what we don't want to have happen, what I see quite a lot happening when people come down in Chaturangas is that the shoulders should be together, soft at the heart, melted together at the heart in the retraction, and that the retraction, the shoulders coming together, leads the downward movement as your elbows bend. But what happens is we don't have the strength in the shoulders, so we come into this shape, right? And this is the shape that causes pain and causes injury, right? So we want to be practicing keeping that connection at the back of the heart, keeping our shoulders safe. So let's just start by coming down onto the belly. So place your hands beside your chest, like you would for downward facing dog, all right? Now lengthen through the side of the body here, roll the head of your arm bones back, you broaden across your collarbones, and your elbows and shoulders should be in alignment, right? So the shoulders aren't coming down, the shoulders the shoulders or the head of the arm bones are in alignment with your elbows, okay? You want to keep that action, and if you're here, you might notice that that's quite strong just sitting here, which is why we're starting here, just working the strength into the back of the shoulders to keep the shoulders safe, right? From here, you keep hugging the elbows in, keep the shoulders down the back and together to lift up. So when you come into Cobra pose, it's not, you can see my shoulders haven't moved as I move up and down, all right? That's the practice. Coming up, shoulders haven't moved. Coming down, shoulders haven't moved. My arms have moved, right? And you'll notice, so there's the moving up, rolling the head of the arm bones down, so the shoulders are in a depressed, like down the back of the body, and retracted together state. And that stays up as you come into Cobra. So that the Cobra looks more like this than like this, all right? Which I see quite a few people doing as well. Perfect. So you can kind of come down onto your belly and practice that move of just rolling the head of your arm bones back, broadening across your collarbones, anchoring into the hands, pointer finger mounds down, and down and shoulders together. And then you can just come up a few times and just practice building that strength, yeah? It's building that capacity to hold yourself as you kind of progress through the practice without any accidents or injuries. Nice. Now, let's come into table. Prepare your shoulders long through the sides of your body, right? Melt the heart onto your back so that the shoulders are connected and supported. And that melting action will bring the shoulders down the back as well slightly. You can come forward slightly so that your chest and your hands are in a chaturanga alignment. Your booty's staying up because we're coming into 8-point pose. Shoulders back, connected on the heart. Chin and chest come down, but the work is in the shoulders. Can you keep the shoulders high? Keep the shoulders high. Keep the shoulders high. When you get here, you can then scooch down onto your belly and lift up, yeah? The shoulders shouldn't be moving too much. Nice. Just some drills. Push back. And you'll notice as you start to push back that you'll come into that protraction because you're coming into a bit of an arm balance. Really? not quite, but you know, when you start pushing with the hands, this is an arm balance movement. We won't be doing one today. Lengthen through the side of your body. Bring your shoulder blades together on your back. Bring your heart forward so that your hands will be beside your chest, keeping the shoulders engaged on your back, and coming down, bending the elbow, keep the shoulders connected and high. Nice. Then you can drop and lift up. Woo! That's pretty strong work. Come down, shoulders stay high and connected. You can push back up, and then there's a bit of a retraction. Alrighty, I'll let you practice that one more time by yourself. So the work of keeping your shoulders connected and safe, because you're moving through the poses and moving through the transitions, and it's your shoulders that are doing a lot of the work. And quite often we lose that connection to the shoulders, and we lose our power and our strength, and we're putting strain in places that when we're young, it's fine, nothing will happen. But the biggest complaint I get from students when I kind of start looking after yoga classes is, hey, how can I support my shoulders and fix my shoulders because I've got injuries? Because modern living is creating shoulder injuries for us. And if we bring modern living onto the yoga mat, then we're just going to exacerbate the injuries and the problems we have. The yoga mat is a therapeutic place for us to take modern living out of our body, get our body back into alignment so that we can then go back to modern living and know the actions of the shoulder. So when you're sitting at your desk, you can go up, round, down, supported. Alrighty. Look after your shoulders. Practice these moves at home. Build the strength in your shoulders. It will transform your yoga practice and your daily life. Thank you so much for watching us. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share, and keep your eyes open for all the other wonderful tips that we have about yoga on this channel. Thank you very much. Namaste.